morning. Hi. Oh my gosh, my allergies. Hi. Guess what? We're doing something different today. I'm doodling and painting instead of writing. How was your weekend? I'm a little sunburned, but I'm happy about it. It was a good time. Probably one of the better weekends I've had all summer. Do you want to time how long it takes for someone to ask why my head's on fire? Yeah, well, it wasn't a party. I mean, it was, well, it wasn't. It was just our friends. It was just the coven, and it was only half a coven, so it was 3 people. So not a party, but a pool day with my friends on Sunday. And then I started actually painting a little bit last night. I haven't painted it in what feels like months. It's probably only been weeks. But then I did the beach on Saturday, and oh, I did have a party. Oh my god, I did. Beach on Saturday. I went to a bar Saturday night for a friend's birthday. Then pool day on Sunday, and then painting Sunday night. And to me, that was a really lovely weekend. Hi, Abba. Good morning. How was your guys' weekend? Are you reading my mind, HB? Because the reason I am doing art today instead of writing is because I'm working on my art trade for Hannah. So it's really funny that you said that. That's specifically what I'm working on, is my piece for her. She is good. Hannah and I talk every week on Wednesdays, or Thursdays sometimes, but we have like a weekly check-in, which is awesome. Although I think I was messaging with her a little bit on Friday, but I think she's doing well. I miss her. We don't see each other. We live states and states away. We are synced. It was very funny that that's what you said. It's kind of like when I was cutting something out and I felt like I needed to tell Ken or something, and I looked up and he had asked me, or he had just appeared and asked what I was doing, or there was something else that happened in the chat that was like that. But anyway, I don't really know what I'm doing on this piece. I just felt like coming out here and doing this today. Writing a new chapter in your book, in your second book. Well, I actually, funny enough, I picked up your book last night and then realized I was too tired to read, but I was starting back into that. If you get it done and need to update the second before I get into that one, I'll let you know when it happens. majority of time making art, at least for me, is staring at the art, deciding what I want to do. Okay, just sit here in silence and just stare at this thing until I can figure it out. Because I don't know what I'm going to do. And honestly, I messed this piece up last night, and I thought I would just start over, and then I thought I would just try and incorporate it. So, this may or may not even, this may just be trash in the end. Occam's Razor and Prophecy. Can you remind me, I know Occam's Razor by name, but for whatever reason, what it is escaping me. Doesn't it have to do with being on the edge, but like, I don't remember at all what it is. Thanks, HB. It's really not any luck needed, because if I don't like the piece, then I'll just do another one. This is actually the second piece I've started for. The first one I'm going to keep working on, but it's not going to be the piece for her. So I'm not super pressed if this ends up not being it. I wish it were that easy. I'm not a good artist. I'm an artist by practice, not by talent, only because I enjoy making art. Am I an artist? Not because I am particularly good at it. So I don't overly stress about, like, if it's not good, it's okay, because I'm not very good. Yeah, and Hannah's fucking amazing, so she knows what she's getting from me. She's getting a piece that I enjoyed making for the sake of making art, not because it's necessarily great. I mean, I'm not saying that to dog on myself. I'm not terrible. I have some art pieces that I really like, but I'm nowhere near like Hannah. She's so good. And I'm always abstract because I am not good. I can't do realistic like she can. She is so freaking talented. Okay. Gray is the answer. Gray is the answer for the color that I want right now. I didn't think this out. HB, you haven't seen any of my art. Not really. I mean, not this kind of art. I don't think. I don't think I've really shown anything. The one piece of art that gets some people wanting me to get on here and do art is from that short that I did about the subconscious, where I was working on a piece that I'm doing for myself. But the hard part of that piece, the facial, there's a face in the painting, was already there. I'm painting over the rest of it, but I'm using the face because I can't paint faces. What kind of artist? HB? painting. I'm so envious of people who can oil paint. That is, it's always remarkable. Working with oils is so hard, in my opinion. Oh, I did start listening to the talk tracks, episode 12. I think I agree with Andy a bit. I really liked the first interview. The second interview, the audio quality, it seemed, probably because they were zooming from different countries, was really poor and disjointed, and it made it really difficult to keep my attention. It's not that it was hard to understand, but I had to really, really focus, and to be completely honest, I was driving, and that just wasn't conducive, so I need to go back and try again. But I did really like the first interviewee, and now I can't even remember what he spoke on. I believe he was a neurologist. He's still very interesting. Yeah, I feel like I have to go back and listen to it again because it was a little tough to keep up with, but I did start it. And I, today, I plan to at least get through the notes of episode 10 for my deep dive and start the script on that, which is good because I think that this contract job is going to kick off probably right after the holiday weekend. So I'd like to get the next video out soon. Oh, and unfortunate news, but there is a solid chance that I won't actually be meeting Kai now. It's not for sure, but it's honestly very likely that it won't happen. And I'm bummed, but it's okay. I'm sure that it'll happen at some point. Basically, when they are here filming, one, I don't know if they're using the house that we found. My girlfriend doesn't know either. But my friend, who is friends with Kai, and the reason that I thought all of this would definitely happen, is now going to be in Los Angeles the entire time that Kai is here. So, the likelihood that her and I will meet is much, much slimmer, next to none now, unless my girlfriend comes back, which is a possibility. But right now she is anticipating not being in town, and that would be the only way that I'd actually meet her, would be through my girlfriend. So, just an update there, but it's still okay. I'm not overly pressed about it, but I did want to let you guys know right away. Speaking of talented but unrelated, Hannah can sing beautifully, and she also speaks a few languages and can sing in those. And it's just, she is ridiculously talented. Oh, HB, we're all talented at different things, and we all feel like that about different things too. I mean, I understand that you have a disability or that you have neurodivergence, as many people do, but at different levels, and you have the prophecy aspect, but I don't think that that's fair to them to say, like, I don't think it's fair to your family for you to say that, because that's probably taking away their voice and thinking of the things that you're talented at, and saying that, I mean, we all have different talents. We are. If you're breathing, there's something that you're here to do because you're good at it, or because you love it and you're so passionate about it, or something. And I don't even know what mine is, but I just don't believe that for an instant. And I feel like the people that love you would never say that either. So you shouldn't say that, personally. And I know you know that I'm saying that out of the utmost love and respect. buddy. Hi. Good morning. So then kindness can be a superpower. I think empathy is. I think kindness is. Monty. Boogers. Yeah. He's so happy with his haircut. He's so much happier right now. Getting through the heat. He loves playing in the pools at the PA arcade. I can't even say the word. And I know he can feel the water better because his hair's short. Right, buddy? Right. Alright, I need my hand back. Can I have my hand back? What should I do? I don't know why he's sniffing. Yeah, I do. We go mostly on the weekends because we go to one that we can drive to because we just like that one the best. And honestly, we've got like a little friend group basically at this point there of the same, people that come with the same dogs at the same time. So we all know each other, our dogs all know each other, we know everybody gets along really well, and we're really early morning people, so we go between like anywhere between 5:30 and 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 is late for us. But yeah, mostly Saturdays and Sundays, which is why if I'm on the weekends, I'm on late because we go to the park first, and then by the time I get back and get on, it's always later. And funny enough, Monty he loves other dogs, but he doesn't play with other dogs. He just wants to be there and like smell them and hang out, but he doesn't actually play with them. He wants to play fetch the whole time. That's all he wants to do is play fetch and lay in the pool. But he wants the other dogs to be around and he wants to say hi to them, but he doesn't actually like dog play. But it's because he was an only puppy, which is very rare. Usually dogs come in litters, and usually if you have a large litter, you might end up with a runt or a smallest puppy. But every now and then you'll end up with no litter and just one puppy and the opposite of a runt, which is a giant, which is why I have a 110-pound dog. Because he didn't have any litter mates and he was the only puppy apparently, and that's why he's such a beast. But I think it's why he doesn't necessarily like to play with other dogs, because he never played with them as a puppy, and he just likes being around them, but he doesn't really care about playing like a dog. He wants to just play with a human. It's very funny. But yes, that's one of his favorite places, and now I can't even say the word. I have to spell it if he's around. I don't know what I want to do next. I think I kind of hate this piece. This might not be it. This might be just a doodle sheet and not Hannah's piece. Because I hate it. I hate it so much. Honestly though, I realize now I would have hated it even if I didn't mess it up yesterday because of the direction it was going. I definitely wouldn't have been happy with this in the end. I wasn't prepared to get my watercolors out, but I might be painting instead of acrylic painting. I might be watercoloring today. much stuff up here. Ken's gonna be sad he's missing a painting day. Yeah, it was really interesting. I have his site still pulled up. I want to go back and look at it more because I really don't know much about any of that. I, yeah, I mean, honestly, HB, my biggest question is that, like, I don't really remember anything about, like, the the Book of Enoch or any of it. Like, I was following along with your guys' conversation the other day a little bit, but it was still above bar for me because you two knew what you were talking about, and obviously you can't put as much in the chat messages. But, like, and like I said, I haven't gone back and looked at it, but, like, truly I need, like, an 8th grader's version of explanation of what it is again. Like what exactly it is, like short form. Yeah, I guess I still just need like an overrun of the basics, and I'm embarrassed to say that right now, but like I said, I was writing, reading the chat, and reading everyone else's chat, so. Multitasking and me learning was not conducive that morning. Okay. Wasn't the Book of Enoch removed from the Bible and then found later? Isn't that what it was? You know, like I need that dumbed down. Like we're going backwards even further, right? So unrelated to you directly what it is, wasn't it a book in the Bible that was removed and then found? Am I crazy? Am I making that up? I'm embarrassed that I don't know more about it, but like literally my brain can't hold it all. Okay, so it was lost. When you say lost by the Jews and Christians, do you mean hidden by the Jews and Christians? Like lost from the public but hidden by the Jews and Christians? But then it was found. And what it contains is prophecy, is that correct? Yeah, in Ethiopia, which is why we were talking about the Ark of the Covenant. But it was found, and what it contains is prophecy, is that correct? found by Sir Richard Lawrence. Andy, perfect timing. HB is catching me up because my brain wasn't working the other day when you guys were talking about the Book of Enoch. And I was writing, trying to follow you guys, and other people were talking. But basically what we've gotten so far, because I asked for like the 8th grade version of what this is Book of Enoch was removed from the Bible, essentially lost or hidden by the Jews and Christians for 1,500 years, but then found in Ethiopia by Sir Richard Lawrence. Is that correct? And that what it contains, or who Enoch was the prophet for the Watchers, and that has all been removed from the Bible and then found. Is that correct? Because I have your website pulled up, but I have not been able to go through it yet. And now that there's not so many people on this morning, I can actually pay a little bit more attention. And I'm drawing today instead of writing, so it'll hopefully make it so that I can be more engaged and still get a creative brain dump out. Okay, and who are the Watchers? Is that part of the conversation when we were talking about Watchers, aliens, all of that? My God, this pen just freaked the fuck out. All my little silver gum wrappers that I've been offering, or putting out as offerings to the crows to try and make friends, and they have not come and gotten them. Instead, they just end up on my porch. Good morning, Angelina. Okay, Andy. Okay, guys. Okay, now I'm catching up. Man, see, this is another reason why I'm so eager to get through the next episode of the telepathy tapes, because right now I want to dive into that, but I feel like I can't rabbit hole into that until I get this next video done. And that's what keeps happening with everything, with reading your book, HB, or with like other things that I want to watch. I'm like, if I have time to rabbit hole or dive into this other thing I'm interested in, then I should be spending that time on this next video so I can get it done and then get on to the other ones. And it's such a fun little game I'm playing with myself right now. Which is like, which threads do I chase versus when do I sit down and focus on what I know I'm doing next, which is the episode 10. But I'm so excited. I have so many tabs and things saved from you guys at this point. It makes me so happy. But, this is so interesting. I should have gotten a paper towel or something. Okay, so HB and Andy, I'm trying to think of a good question to ask you guys about this, about the Book of Enoch. In the summary of a chat, I don't know if the chat has like a number of characters it's allowed or whatnot. I've never actually been on the other side, but I guess I want like an overarching summary or your general thoughts around it. Now that I'm understanding what it is better and I can pay attention. Taken by God? Okay. So now that I can, better pay attention to what you guys are saying, I guess I'm wondering if there's like an all-encompassing like summary or comment that you can share, like explaining your thoughts around this in general. Like, is there an ongoing like thought around it, or is there like, is the controversy that people don't believe it or don't want to acknowledge it, or they think that it was faked, and yet, or does everybody believe it's real and they like what? All of this. Tell me everything. Alien abduction. That's why you were asking about aliens versus angels. That makes more sense now. I don't know what I want to do next. Do you think they're watching us from the moon? Do you think the moon's a spaceship? Because that's one of those conspiracy theories that I really can't think about too much, or I start to think I'm losing my mind. Oh, hey, Piglet. Hey, girl. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, come on, dog. You can ass upstairs. Go. I know he doesn't want to be on camera. Crazy dog action today. Now you're going to hear him do that until mine comes flying down. That's the only dog he plays with because he thinks this is his sister. That is what makes this place feel like a treehouse, because the dogs go up and down between the two floors, and at any given moment, a dog that is not mine is in front of me. Or she can come down, it's okay. She can come down here. I'll come in. Go play. Hey, girl. Oh. All the puppies. Monty, leave it alone. You don't need that right now. He likes to chew on a stick when she comes down because she's not allowed to chew on sticks because she doesn't have all her teeth. And he does it just because he can in front of her, and he's a brat. My girl. My girl. Psychos. You want her? No. Up. Good girl. Good job. Free entertainment. Oh, my dog's a dipshit. Knocking stuff over. Hey, take the stick anywhere else. Over here. Oh my God, this dog. You're being so crazy. Wait. There, are you better now? This needs more room. Psychos. I know. Just turn into like one of those live dog watching videos, or you just watch the dogs at the daycare playing all day. Instead it's these two knuckleheads. It is funny, she is really the only dog that he'll actually play with. They love each other very much. And you guys, now that I think I've got the job that I was working on last week, that I put that proposal in, again, the ink's not dry, but I think I have it done. But now that I think I've got that contract job starting, I feel so much better. There's like a big sigh of relief of being like, okay, I've got the next. It's like when you're freelance, you don't, like, if you get to a period where all of a sudden you don't have a client at the moment, it'd be very scary when you don't know when your next one's coming through. I feel so much better. I think that's why, like, being out here right now and painting seems like I feel like I could do this all day. Because I finally feel like a little bit of stress relief. I'm sure Andy's going to be like, I think that you should look at my website. Sundown. It says everything, I think. And I will. But I would love to know. Supplement that $3 a day. Yeah. I know. $3 a day will be impressive. I think it's maybe more like 30 cents a day when I'm monetized. Oh, you're fine, Andy. Although I'm curious what you're having for lunch. Is it quintessentially English or is it whatever? I was going to say something, but I'm going to keep that thought to myself for a minute. Hey, little sparrow. That cute little bird I always tell you guys about. I know it's the same one. He's always right over here. Hi, bud. I wish he'd come closer. I want to name him. There's a baby bunny that lives in the front yard right now that I'm constantly feeding cilantro and parsley from the garden, and I think the neighbors named him Easter. I'm constantly trying to befriend the wildlife, leaving gum wrappers for the crows. Doing the most. Landscaping sounds, that's fun for you guys. Yeah, the crows like shiny things. Coins, gum wrappers, anything kind of metallic that, especially if it's shiny. So I will leave out, I think, I don't have any right now, but peanuts, like unshelled, unsalted peanuts, and gum wrappers. And they like them as gifts, and then they bring you gifts back. I have done it successfully before at my dad's house when I was younger, where they would bring you, like, where I got to a point where, like, crows would bring things back. But in the city, it's a lot harder. However, I really do think that the crows around here, and it sounds crazy when I'm talking about this, people are not animal people or bird people, because what I'm talking about here actually sounds like crazy, but it's true, is that crows and corvids in general have such amazing memories, and they remember faces, and they remember people, and they remember who shows them kindness versus who may not. And it's crazy that that's true, but it really is. And I think ever since it was like a summer or two ago when I had that fat crow that I thought was a raven in the yard, and was like kind of like keeping an eye on it for a couple days, and basically for whatever reason it was staying on the ground and not in the trees, and I wasn't sure if it was injured, but eventually it flew away. But over the course of a couple days, I kind of just made sure that like everybody left it alone, and I was bringing it food and keeping the dogs and stuff away from it when it was in our yard, like just letting it be where it was in peace until it decided to take off. But ever since then, I swear, I think all the crows know that I'm friendly. So I'm just trying to convince them to come back here. I only ever see them in the front for the most part. But I don't even know, like, what is the season for crows? Like, do they go away part of the season? Because I have not been hearing them lately. So, like, maybe they're not even here right now. I don't know enough about birds to know that, but, you know. Yes, the crows like shiny things. I tried to give them nuts, and they weren't taking that. I tried to give any of the birds some nuts and some lettuce. They weren't interested in either, even though the internet said they would be. So now I'm resorting to shiny things. Landscaping sounds, that's fun. Oh. Pizza. Oh, Carmine, good morning, my love. I know, I really like my birds. Now the sparrow over here that I'm trying to make friends with. You know, the starlings, everybody hates the starlings, but they're so cool. Also, underrated pigeons. And hear me out on this. I recently learned, again, I used to live in New York City, and everyone said that everyone always treats pigeons like they're the rats of the birds, basically, is what I've always been told. Like, they're flying rats. Like, that's just the words I always heard around pigeons. Just very disparaging. I was always told, like, pigeons were gross. Like, they were extra dirty for some reason. Like, because they were city birds or something, like everyone says. I don't know if this is true or not, but I always heard this. And then I saw something the other day that was explaining that, as we all know, before we had telegrams and, like, telegraphs and phones, we used birds to send messages, and specifically they used pigeons, and they would train pigeons as carrier pigeons, messengers. And when telegrams and the like came into being, when the telephone started and all of that, pigeons were seen as being only for the poor because other people couldn't afford to have telegrams or to send telegraphs or to have a telephone. So pigeons were for the poor and therefore dirty, and that was the holdover apparently as to why pigeons got this bad reputation now, is all because they were looked at as like inferior once the technology came around. And I always thought that was really interesting. And then I learned that there's actually a pigeon, I think two, but a pigeon that actually got one of those Medal of Honors about in war, because this pigeon apparently had to send a message in a war, got its like leg blown off, and got like shrapnel in the eye or something, and still got the message across the way and to the other side and to the other soldiers. I wish I knew the story better so I could tell it. And like this pigeon got this Medal of Honor for a bird, and I just find it so interesting because they always have such a bad rap. And then I was like, oh, it's got a bad rap because we gave it a bad rap because it wasn't the technological advancement. And so now I'm extra nice to the pigeons also. Okay, Andy. Enoch was employed as a scribe by people he thought were angels. And Andy, do you think that they were angels? Who do you think that he was employed by? Or what do you think they were? Do you think they were aliens, angels, or what? Oh, I'm sorry, Carmine. And yeah, he's talking about a previous live in the comments. You'd have to really dig for it, I think. But I'm wondering if we can find it and copy it over sometime. Hey, astronaut, morning. And as for passenger pigeons, I don't know. Those may be extinct, but pigeons in general are still here. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't know about, like I said, I don't know about the differences in terms of the specifics. That's why it was like a shit version of the story. But I just found it so interesting and think that perhaps like pigeons are essentially getting bird racism. Oh, it's that day that I had to do 2 parts in one morning because my phone got too hot or got in the sun. I had to move it. I remember now. Yeah, it was a long time ago. You'll have to find just one of my mornings I did a part 1 and part 2. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry about that. What are you gonna do? It's summer. Oh yeah, it was the Happy Tuesday. I know, I'm sorry, Carmine. It's probably really annoying. So, people sticking it out, you guys are awesome because no one wants to listen to this. Looks like white men that can make themselves look like fire. Yeah, astronaut. Ideally, it's just the birds out here, but today it's everything. All good, girl. I'm sure I'll be out all week, so no worries. And Enoch was Noah's great-grandfather. Interesting. Okay, and then what about, so again, I know I'm going to dive into all of this at some point, but he was hired as a scribe by these men or angels or whatever. What? Yes, the burning bush. However, something, I'm going to come back to the burning bush, but the question I have is, what were these angels or men telling him to write? So like, what was he scribing? What, in general, like short version, if there is one. If there's not, then I get that. for the burning bush, something I once heard, and I don't know if this is true, was that based on the location of the burning bush and everything that was happening, the bush that, like the type of bush that they think it might have been that was burning contained potentially a hallucinogenic property that when inhaled, like smoke, like how tobacco and certain psychedelics can be inhaled through smoke. I've heard questions or considerations of essentially the bush being this type of whatever plant it is that when burned releases a hallucinogenic, which does not necessarily take away from anything, because obviously I know many of us believe that hallucinogenics do help us commune with the universe or with God or with whatever, but I've always heard that, and I'm wondering if you guys have ever heard that. HB, I don't even know who that one is. Ashkenaz? Yeah, I don't know who that one is. I'm not very well versed in the Bible at all, or even like the biblical stories. I know the big ones and the basics, and then that's about it. I'm actually gonna go grab a little more coffee. I'll be right back. I'm back. Did anyone stay? Is everyone gone? Hi. Hi. This is very interesting. I'm so excited. When I was getting my coffee, I was telling my partner that this is what we were talking about. 200 of these angels, or what he called angels, came down and called themselves the Watchers. Oh, now I want to read this so bad. Now I'm getting very interested. Andy, it was so cool to find out that you ended up like having this website and knowing all of this information. You withheld. You didn't tell us that you knew all of this and had such a special interest until now. because that's interesting. So the Watchers are the reasons the Christians reject the Book of Enoch. Is that because what it says doesn't align to everything they've been teaching? Because they always talk, like the Christians always talk about angels and shit. So do they not, why these angels did they not support? Like what was the controversy that made these people want to hide this book? Do you guys have a way of explaining that? I'm gonna have to retroactively start going into the descriptions of these videos and then like summarizing the topics that we talk about each time so that future people can be like, oh, okay, today they talked about Enoch. Or the other day it was like, oh, we talked about medical abortion. Oh, we talked about dream interpretation. So that people know. Because right now I always, like, the description's always like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Oh, okay. So there's a serious critique of the religious leaders in the prophecy section of the Book of Enoch, and that is why they hid it, because they didn't know how to handle critique. And now, is the Book of Enoch available in its entirety for people to read? Is that what's partially on your website, Andy? Like, can someone now go in and actually read the whole thing? And is the controversy people saying that it's not real? Like, are there Christians and Jews now that it's out saying, don't believe it? Is that part of the controversy? Or like, what's the deal now? Or are they saying like, oh yeah, it's real, we just decided not to believe, like, just don't listen to it? Like, what are the current stances on it? Jesus' brothers, James quotes in it in the New Testament. Okay. The fact that I don't think I knew Jesus had a brother named James shows how little I know about the Bible. Okay, so I'll get there. Wait, hold on. So still, what's the answer in terms of the controversy now? Do they say that it's not, like, are they, like whoever's anti the Book of Enoch, I guess, are they saying it's not real? Or what are they saying about it? Because I'm still reading your first book, but for the sake of today. Man, it's like a love-hate with these. I don't know if anybody out there listening to this right now uses Posca markers or paint pen markers ever, and I love the payoff, but sometimes they just make a huge mess. His real name was Jacob. James is a good name for a driver. Okay, but wait. So a friend of yours found a modern translation. Okay. So can anybody get it? Can I find it online? Like, can you find the Book of Enoch online and like read it? Is that an option or no? Is it not like super easy to find? And it's like more of a challenge. And also, what are the Christians saying about it now? Like, are they saying it's not real? Thank you guys for talking, like explaining this to me so thoroughly, because I sincerely do not know any of this stuff. Okay, so you found it online. Okay, so that question answered. Now, what about what the Christians and Jews or whoever is saying about the Book of Enoch now? It's on your website. Okay, so it is. I thought it might be. I saw all the links. Actually, it's literally the tab I have open next to this right now. Okay, so I can't go in and read it. That's the answer there. So what about the controversy today? Is mainstream Christianity denying the book and saying it's not real, or what are they saying? This is kind of, I mean, both don't have it as scripture. Okay, I will. I'll definitely do that. Man, this is interesting. This really makes me wish my dad's parents were alive. I don't think I'd have the lady balls to talk to them about this, but they were... Fundamentalist is not a strong enough word. This is the cult side of the family, but if I wasn't terrified of my grandparents when they were alive, and I knew all of this, I would have loved to have asked their opinion on the Book of Enoch and see especially what my grandfather would have said. Sincerely would have been interested to see it. I mean, he probably would have gone pale and I would have ran away. But for some reason I was so scared of that man. He never did anything. But he just had this like authoritative energy to him that made him terrifying. Okay, thank you, Andy. So they're acknowledging that the book exists and that it's old, but they think that it was just made up by someone else after the fact, and that's why they ignore it. Okay. Oh my God, my grandpa would have lost it. One time my grandma didn't talk to me for 3 years. 3 years, because when I was little, I was a child model and actor and did little things like that. And when my grandmother found out I was modeling, she didn't talk to me for 3 years. And then when they found out I was going to college, because that was not allowed, they did not come to my graduation party or any of that. When they found out, well, it wasn't just that I was going to college, it was that I was going to secular college and I wasn't going to seminary or becoming a nun or whatever. Basically, I wasn't getting married and I wasn't going to a Christian college, and those were the two only options for any young woman coming out of high school. So they didn't talk to me for a long time for that period, and then when my grandfather died, my grandmother told me I love you for the first and only time at his funeral. And I don't really think I talked to her. I don't remember seeing her too much after that, just a little bit. But I think if I would have asked them about the Book of Enoch, both of their heads would have spun a full 180 on their neck. I say that now and Grandpa's gonna smite me from somewhere. Wow. Okay, so something I've learned about Ethiopia that I don't know if this, I think it was about Ethiopia, I'm not sure, was that, does Ethiopia not follow the Gregorian calendar? Is that true? Or do they have both? Do they do the Gregorian for the sake of getting along with the rest of the world, but they also practice the non-Gregorian? I'm malfunctioning. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Because I feel like I saw something the other day that was explaining it, and honestly, the calendar before we jacked it up makes so much sense. Really makes so much more sense. That's actually, you know what, I'm gonna write that down because that's a good deep dive topic. I would love, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. That's, you know what, I'm writing that one down right now. Personally, I think that would be a really interesting topic to discuss, no? To talk about the Gregorian calendar and all of the changes that were made and how we got to this system, and then also talk about Ethiopia and how they do that. I mean, I'm no expert, but I can definitely look this up and oh, now I'm excited. Don't worry, Book of Enoch's already on here. Next time we have one of our Ethiopian friends on here, I wonder if they can tell us a little bit. I also don't understand how I was the ripe age that I am last year when I found this out. I don't know how I didn't always know this. Also, why don't we teach this to kids? That like there's other countries that are like completely using a different calendar system. It's insane in a good way. It's wild. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All of the times and dates, like the way all the months are made. There's so many curiosities about the Gregorian calendar, and I literally just learned about this like in the last year. And I feel like it's something we should have been talking about in school because it's really interesting, and I think it's also very important to know how this calendar came to be, because once you like hear about it, it's very frustrating because it's very ego-driven. So much of the calendar, like the names, the amount of days in certain months, and no offense to the men, but it all had to do with men. It was very interesting from what I learned. Oh guys, I'm excited. Also, I realized writing or drawing out here versus writing, I can do this a lot longer. Not that I need to be on here for 18 hours, but I could sit here and paint all day. Or doodle or whatever. Andy, can I ask how you got so interested in the Book of Enoch? Did you just rabbit hole one day and it turned into this, or did you have a specific tie or interest? Yeah, so that's how you got interested in it. That makes sense, HB. Especially because of what was happening to you, that you'd be drawn to a book that contained all this information about prophecies. But I am curious as to how it got into Andy's. Oh, Graham Hancock. Okay. Amazing. He is interesting. I really liked the series that Netflix did with him, the Ancient Civilizations, I think it was called. It was really interesting. I don't know enough about him to have too many opinions, but it seems like people either love him or hate him, from what I can gather. That's great, HB. I stopped using the word religious for me probably when I was 17 or 18. But I didn't even use the word spiritual until I was in my 30s. So I had like a large gap of no feelings around it before it came back into my life. You were Rasta? How interesting, Andy. That's very interesting. Amazing. Oh, the sun's coming out. It's really beautiful. Why is this happening? Personality. I'm gonna get that song stuck in my head now. Who sings that? Living Color? Is that what I'm thinking of? Do you, Andy? How interesting. Do you still identify as Rastafarian? Living Color, yeah. Good song, man. Probably do about 15 more minutes before I call it. I got some emails to send, and then I'm going to dive into the telepathy tapes notes and get this episode going so that I can move on and we can see what happens to this channel. I have 54 more hours until I'm monetized. Gonna happen so soon, guys. Then I start rolling in those 30 cents a day. But I can't wait. It's gonna mean so much just to like have done this, because I definitely would have given up by now in a past life. This is really an effort of relearning the art of delayed gratification. That's very cool, Andy. I had no idea. I love learning more about you guys. This is how I end up with paint all over myself. I didn't have the marker closed. Is it on my face? No. This is how you know I'm a pro. hands are really shaky this morning. I know, it's calm right now. Hey, bud. Excuse me, I'm okay. My allergies are so bad. About 10 more minutes and then I'm popping off. No, thanks for geeking out on it. Honestly, I was asking all the questions. I really did, I really am curious, and I really did want to be able to pay more attention the other day when you guys were talking about it, and I really do want to learn more. I've just got to close, like, I get overwhelmed between all the things I'm trying to learn at once, and yeah, that's why I'm going to get this next episode done so that I can really start diving in when we get into these topics, because I think it's so fascinating, and it keeps inspiring me for, like, the next videos, you know? Thrilled. That's also like partially why I do this. I've told you guys that before, but like I love when I can sit here and do my thing and you guys are shooting the shit in the chat and I can just catch up every now and then. Because I also think it's enjoyable for everyone to get to listen to the birds and then like just periodically hear me talk as opposed to me not shutting the fuck up for an hour and a half. Also, I apologize that I curse like a sailor. I'm working on that. Yep, absolutely. More like a truck driver. That's fair. I don't mean to. It just happens. That's the biker family verbal outpouring. But I really am trying to work on that a little. I know it's not classy. This white is not very opaque. Also, it has fully been decided in my head that this is not Hannah's piece. I'm just doodling to brain dump. Thank you, HB. I may not need to apologize, but it would be a good habit to adjust. I remember always being told, I don't remember who told me this, but I remember always being told as a kid that, like, cursing as much as I did was not a sign of intelligence. And I do consider myself to be very intelligent. And I believe that 9 times out of 10 I speak eloquently and intelligently, but I understand that the cussing can remove some of that for many people. Many people cannot hold both things in their mind as being true. And I know that's not the case, but, and also I'm easily just projecting and worrying about nothing, but I've never gotten it out of my head when someone said that once. And I have always kind of felt like people don't think I'm as smart as I think I am. So I should probably do things to help myself there. That's true. You have a sports question. I don't know if I can answer it, but I'll try. Hit me with it. Did the dog go back in? Oh my gosh, I know I told you guys Monty doesn't normally bark. The other day he locked himself in a room. Not locked himself, but he closed the door on himself inside of a room and was stuck in that room. I don't know for how long, but never said a word. I thought he was napping. Finally went to look for him and couldn't find him anywhere and saw him close his bedroom door and opened it. He was on the other side desperately wanting out. He's a huge dog and his bark is loud and it's actually really nice and scary, but did not use his voice the whole time. Just stayed stuck in that room and just waited for someone to realize that he wasn't out and about. I only thought of that now because I just realized I didn't know where he went, and he won't tell me if he gets himself stuck somewhere. I don't know, honey. They want to get rid of fighting in hockey, but you see Caitlin Clark getting beat up every day in the WNBA. Is it just a woman thing? I don't know. I do like Caitlin, though. But I'm not a big basketball person in general, NBA or WNBA. Also, the fighting in hockey, I don't know if I have an opinion on that. The only opinion I really have in terms of like getting rid of something in sports is that I just hate the brain and body damage that football players experience in particular. And then I think about that as children getting involved in that game, because you get, you know, the kids play the games as they're growing up and in the hopes and dreams oftentimes of playing in college or going professional, meanwhile putting their bodies through like all of this stuff. And football is just one of the ones that I think that you see so much damage done for like long-term football players. And if that's the case with hockey, then I think there's something there in terms of like the neurological damage that we're doing to these people. But in terms of just the fighting, I don't have any opinions. I did just hear, I think did Spain just outlaw bullfighting? That, like something like that is the stuff that I have opinions on. I'm really glad, like, or not bullfighting, the running of the bulls. I know, or was it the running of the bulls? I don't know. My point is that I don't think we should be fucking with the animals like that, but in terms of hockey and football and sports injuries, I don't have too much of an opinion other than I wish we would stop having kids do things that are so permanently damaging. But there's a lot going on behind me. We have 2 minutes till I've hit an hour and a half, kids. So I'm going to jump here, get on with my day, send a couple of emails, and get on to the next telepathy tapes deep dive. And that way, when this other job kicks off, hopefully, I'll have that done and I won't be looming over me. So, also I would show you this piece, but it's definitely not done, even if it's not for Hannah. So I'm going to keep working on it. Maybe on live tomorrow. And at some point, I promise, even if I hate it, I'll show it to you. But everyone knows that like halfway through a piece of art, it's actually awful. It does not look good. Now I have Cult of Personality stuck in my head. HB. I'm gonna blame that one on you. Just kidding. All right, kids. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Don't be sorry. Have a lovely Monday. Afternoon, morning, whatever. I hope it's great. I hope it kicks off the week well. And I hope everything goes exactly according to plan today. I should be back on tomorrow. As long as it's not raining, I'll be on most of the week. So, have a good day, guys. Thanks for enlightening me about the Book of Enoch. I really look forward to diving into that very, very soon.